But here's the thing. Do you want to make decisions based off of the opinion of somebody that's trying to sell you something, or do you want to make decisions based off of the math that we know today?
This is BetterWealth with Caleb Williams. Welcome to another episode of BetterWealth Unlock. In this part of the show, we are going to be talking to Jereme, our BetterWealth coach, who's on the front line. And Jereme, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the importance of a model. And I'm telling you, if you don't know what we're talking about right now, listen. If you're on YouTube, don't go, because having a model is a game changer. And I spent the first 3.5 years in the financial service business helping people without a model. And that's going to change for my life and for the people that we serve.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you say model, what is a model, right? That's the next question. What is a model? I took an interesting class back in my younger years, and it was creation versus evolution, and it was set up to be this, let's look at this and let's look at this. Regardless of how you feel about the issues, it doesn't matter. You can't, with the scientific method, it has to be measurable and observable over time. Mm-hmm. So that's very hard with both of those two things, creation or evolution. So the instructor said, let's take a step back and let's model, right? What do we know? What can we look at? And so that's why we have a model, because the first thing that it does is allows us to take a current snapshot and situation report, if you will, of what's going on right now. Because do you have a crystal ball?
No.
I don't have a crystal ball either. I have no idea whether taxes are going to go up or whether they're going to go down, although I have a strong feeling about it, right?
They're going to go up and we're going to die someday. That's all I know. So.
I also don't know what's going to happen with inflation.
Yep.
I may have a strong opinion about it.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Do you want to make decisions based off of the opinion of somebody that's trying to sell you something, or do you want to make decisions based off of the math that we know today? That's why a model is important, because it allows you to take the data that we have today, extrapolate information from that, and project into the future what that looks like. And then we can make some decisions, and we can develop strategy that says, if these things remain constant, or if we insert different life events into that, does the model stand up to the test of those tests, of those stresses that we put on it?
Okay, so for the person that's listening to this or watching this and saying, Jereme, I have no clue what you just said.
That's fair.
Could you dumb it down, and could we build the framework of a model, and then talk about an example of Joe Smith, who, by the way, doesn't exist.
Right.
Joe Smith that comes into our world, and how we use a model to start.
Yep. So one thing that we do a really good job about is talking about the and asset.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go to andasset.com and get your free copy.
Guy I know wrote a book. It's really good. It's called The And Asset. And but so a lot of people, I'll talk to them on the phone, and they'll say, Jereme, should I do an and asset? And I go, I have no idea. Right? Of course, it would. I think it's a good thing. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of financial products, but at the end of the day, it's just a product.
Correct.
And when I get asked the question, should I do this? The answer is I don't know.
Yep.
I may know. We may be able to determine some things, but we've got to get the information, and we've got to model where you are right now. So it's kind of like making decisions in a vacuum. I say this on some of the other podcasts that we've done. Is it a good idea to make decisions in a vacuum without data, based off of a feeling or an opinion or a hope, or somebody that's trying to sell you something because they have to put food on the table?
Right.
An and asset may be a great tool for your financial model, but how do we best determine that? Well, we take a look at what's coming in, cash flow. We take a look at consumption, what's going out or what I'm losing control of that I'll never get back, and then what I'm saving. Now, saving is just a bucket initially with the model. So we've got what's coming in, and then it's either being consumed or it's being saved. And when it's being saved, it's just a bucket to us. It's not a tool, it's not a product. It's nothing that we can attach any sort of name to. It's just a bucket, right? And then from there, we can decipher what buckets need to do what in order to get us to where we want to go. So the model allows us to do a couple things, and we have a principle of clarity here at BetterWealth. clarity now and clarity into the future.
Yep.
So the model allows us to get the snapshot of the now, and it allows me or another coach to have an amazing conversation about Caleb, John, Mary, Smith, whoever. What do you really want to be doing in life? Because clarity, you can't have unless you understand purpose.
Yep.
And that's huge. So,
and that's deep, by the way. Like we'll have a podcast that just goes into that because that is a whole nother episode in itself.
Totally. And I have so many amazing dialogues with people where they look at me after the fact and they go, Jereme, nobody's asked me what I want. They've sold me products, but they've never asked me, what do I want?
So, Jereme, what's the difference between a model and a product or even a financial strategy?
Sure. A model is just information that measures something, right? What we are measuring is the ratio between consumption and savings. Because from what we can tell, money only does those two things. It either gets consumed or it can get saved. So, and that's what we can control if we choose to control. We can also project out based off of what we know, what that might mean if everything remains the same. The cool thing about the model is you can model different things. Just like with a mannequin or something, you put different clothes on it to see how it looks. So we can dress up the model. If you're going to increase your income by 5% per year, fine.
You can model that.
You can model that. If you're going to put your kids through college, we can increase your consumption for a 4-year period and show you what that looks like out to age 100.
If you think buying a Lamborghini is a smart decision, we can show you how that's going to look like now and in your future.
And never mind.
And by the way, if you're going to make a ton of money in your investments, because we have people that are doing incredible things investing.
Totally.
And we also have a lot of average investors. And so we can model what it looks like to make a 15% rate of return versus a 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can do that for a certain period of time and then drop it down and raise it back up. The model allows us to dream bigger than we ever thought we could dream and get things in balance quicker than we thought we could get things in balance because now we have an accountability instrument that we are accountable to.
Yep.
Right? When we have a call or we have a Zoom, I'm not making decisions based off of a hope or a prayer or something that I'm selling you. We're going to go back and we're going to look at the buckets that we created. And we're going to say, is what we're doing going to get us to where we want to go? So if we can understand where we are, we can set a North Star. We can, I love it because now we're not, just the other day, I had a husband and wife and the wife says to me, he worries about this. He doesn't sleep, right? He keeps him up all night. So we go through this whole process and the model looked good by the end. It looked good. They were balanced. They were excited.
They were afraid of running out of money.
Yep.
Wow.
And what this did, I'm positive that person is sleeping better today because this is their information. The model only lies to you if you lie to it. And in fact, there's even safeguards because of math in the model that allow you not to lie to yourself.
Right. So there's two types of people that we run into. There's probably more, but you have the entrepreneurial visionary type that knows where they want to go or at least the direction, but has no sense of understanding of where they're currently at. And by the way, just as an example, if you want to accomplish certain things in your health, like run a marathon, but you're super unhealthy and never run, like you have to have self-awareness if you want to get to where you are. Same thing with your business and all that. So the model helps you get clarity on where you are. Now, there's a lot of people that are watching this that the future is fuzzy.
That's right.
And you may be leaning towards of like you think you know what's going on, but the model might be able to clarify some of those things, but more importantly, show you what's possible for the future. And I'm telling you, both camps, we've just seen tremendous transformation, and it's addicting.
It is. It's very life-giving to just see what it is that you think might be happening. And again, we're going to talk about this in a future episode, but one of the things we're doing is we're confirming information. We're verifying and we're vetting information, and if it's not accurate, let's get it accurate. Because in order to build strategy or to do anything like that, down the road, we've got to have the right data coming into it.
Absolutely. Anything else as it relates to the importance of a model or something that you want to get across in Better Wealth Unlocked?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I can say is I'm a coach. I'm not a planner, an advisor, a strategist, or anything like that, although I maybe do some of those things. I get to have amazing, genuine dialogues with people, and accountability is the biggest key. Consistency is an amazing thing when you can make right choices and be held accountable to those right choices over time. And the model allows you to know and us to know and move forward together with a relative amount of certainty.
It really, I think we do have an episode that we've done on accountability.
Yeah.
And it's so important, and you can't be accountable to something if you don't have a source of truth.
That's right.
For us and for you. So I just want to encourage you, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on podcast, and you're like, oh, like you're scared, or you're a little bit like nervous, or if you might be like me, you're like competitive, you're like, I'm going to crush this model.
This guy.
So I encourage you to like reach out, go to betterwealth.com. Like, we have places that you can figure out your model totally for free. And we do that selfishly because we know that we can help you regardless of where you're at. And maybe you can check out the links below. And yes, my book's a great book. Like, it will give you a great strategy. But one of the things that I'm taking a step back is no one strategy is going to set you free. Truth will, and it will give you the building blocks to be able to build on that, which may or may not be the and asset or something else. And so I'm excited, and I want to see people at scale get more truth. Yep. And that's why we're building a system to be able to serve people at scale, because everyone that comes in, just their mind is literally blown.
100%. The Better Wealth assessment at betterwealth.com is going to be an amazing tool for you guys to get a feel for a model and what that could mean and how it could influence your decision making and the ability that you have to be accountable to something in your, not just your financial life, but the difference, by the way, I'll throw this in, the difference between consuming and savings is often more a matter of your heart than it is anything else.
It's a whole nother episode, man. You're just dropping bombs all over the place. I love it.
I do what I can.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for following us. We appreciate you sharing this message and helping us get the word out. And Jereme, as always, thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to the Better Wealth podcast. It would mean the world to me if you could hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with the people that you know and love.